You know, after watching that display of brilliance this morning, all I can say at this point is, wow. So I'd invite you to kind of sit back and relax for the next 5 to 6 minutes as we degrade back to the world of ignorance. And don't be confused and make the assumption that I'm some big-time farmer or rancher. Nothing could be further from the truth. As Wayne said, I own Tailor-Made Enterprises, a construction and auction company, and our auction business focuses mainly on livestock and real estate auctions. And the best way to describe my place would be to compare it to a mini experiment station. So when Dr. Williams, a longtime friend of mine, told me about SumaGrow, I certainly was receptive to the idea of trying it. However, after hearing what all this SumaGrow could do, I told Dr. Williams that if this snake oil would do all that he said that it would do, and if it would work on my place, that it would work anywhere because most of the topsoil had been removed for some construction projects. Our place is set up in 8 different traps so that cattle can be rotated in and out, and so it was relatively easy to experiment with various traps to see how SumaGrow compared to various control traps. Some traps only got SumaGrow applications, some only commercial fertilizer, some got a combination of both, including one that got some chicken litter. The results were that during the worst drought I've ever seen in my lifetime, I grew grass in areas that I've never grown grass in the past. Some of the better traps where the SumaGrow had a better chance to perform, it performed equal to, and in some instances better than the commercial fertilized traps, but it did so at a fraction of the expense. Not knowing that I'd be asked to share my experiences anytime, I didn't take any pictures during this past summer's trial, but when I was notified last week that they wanted me to come and speak today, I took some pictures of some winter grazing trials that we're presently running. This first picture is an overview of a trap that's been a problem child. 2 years in a row, I've had a complete failure with pearl millet, and before that, I'd had problems establishing a suitable Bermuda grass pastures. Now, what we did this fall on this particular trap, October 15th, I applied a gallon of SumaGrow per acre. November 2nd, I drilled no-till, straight rye. December 2nd, applied a ton of lime per acre. December 8th, applied 100 pounds of urea per acre. And January 2nd, I started limited grazing cow-calf pairs. Now, this trap is scheduled for a half a gallon of SumaGrow later this week. The next 2 pictures shows the depth of growth measurements on this particular trap. And you can see that this trap, after a little grazing, is showing about 5 inches of growth. Now, the next trap, if I didn't get ahead of myself, I did. If I can get our people, we went the wrong way for a little while. There we go. All right, this area received the following. October 15th, a gallon of SumaGrow an acre. October 27th, it was light disc covered with chicken litter and then harrowed. November 1st was broadcast with straight ryegrass, broadcast with 275 pounds of 302. December 2nd, it got 1,000 pounds of lime per acre. And this picture, like all the pictures you're going to see, was taken January 11th. There's been no cattle grazing this area, but I promise you that will change next week, and we're showing about 7.5 to 8 inches of growth. Now, those of you that can see the grade rod, don't think not only am I about half deaf, but I'm not completely blind. I don't use in my construction business grade poles in inches, so those are tenths. So if you're seeing a 5 up, you say, well, he said that's 5. Well, it's really 6. The next area was treated exactly like the previous area, except in lieu of chicken litter, it received 65 pounds of urea per acre. It's also scheduled for half a gallon of SumaGrow later this week. Average growth is 6 to 6.5 inches. This area was treated the same as the previous area, except the native pastures was only harrowed before overseeding with ryegrass. Then it was sprayed with a foliar application of a 3-1-1 application. This area will also receive a half a gallon of SumaGrow per acre later this week. Average growth 3 to 3.5 inches. This picture is merely a panoramic view of the overseeded area. Now, the synopsis at this point is even with minimal seedbed preparation, it was superior to the overseeding. The SumaGrow chicken litter combination outperformed the other areas. However, the cost of the litter in our areas have just about rendered the use of litter prohibitive. Now, if you have any doubts about the benefits of SumaGrow, pay close attention to the next 2 slides. What you're looking at is grass this is strictly volunteer. Strictly volunteer. This tract received a half a gallon of SumaGrow per acre December the 28th. This tract got no SumaGrow. In only 15 days, look at the difference in the 2 traps. Speaks pretty high of the product. Dr. Williams ran more tests and has got a lot more data, but time restraints won't allow me to go over all of that. But as I mentioned earlier, when we started this trial, I told Dr. Williams that if this snake oil would work on my place, it would work anywhere. Now, knowing that I was going to be speaking to a group of well-educated people here today, this country boy decided that I would Google the phrase snake oil. Now, folks, Alan, over 20 years of a personal friendship with Alan, I've earned the right to pick on him just a little bit. Now, Dr. Williams, from Google, I learned that the best snake oil salesman had people planted in the crowd called shields. And these shields would get up and give testimonials. And the more convincing the shield, the more product you sold. But anyway, on a more serious note, on a more serious note, in my opinion, Dr. Williams is one of the bright minds in agriculture today. He has the gift to not only view agriculture from a scientific side, but also from the production side. Now, what I've seen during the worst drought I've seen in my lifetime, that there's a lot of possibilities for this product. As we learn more about the different combinations, uses, and residual values, we're all going to become better stewards of the product. SumaGrow has the potential to change the way agriculture does business. Now, you talk about being on the cutting edge of agricultural technology. Now, here we are. And in closing, I'm going to leave you with one thought about this product. It ain't bragging if you can back it up.